So welcome back everyone, Mike here. I am back over here on the other hill this afternoon doing all things tractor, grapple, chainsaw related. We're doing some clearing, some firewooding, burning some brush, all kind of stuff over here. This cool weather, I'm telling you what, I just come to life when it's like this. It's mid 40s, maybe 50 degrees today. It's just perfect for this kind of work. I'm trying to get this fire going again, and normally what I can do, you know, I had this thing going yesterday. You just kind of pack it back full of brush and it'll just take off on its own. There's plenty of hot coals in the bottom of that. So right now I'm going to head down the trail there by where that big oak tree was that I drug out of there, and maybe pull that cherry up, work it up, and I'll throw that top in here, you know, all the limbs and the small stuff, and get this fire going again, and we'll go from there. This is that same log that you saw the other night in that video. It's 10'6" long, actually about 10'8", red oak. So I just measured that log. It's 10 feet 6 inches long, 17 inches in diameter at the small end, 23 inches at the big end. Now once you saw that into lumber, that will probably net you about 106 board feet of lumber. I'm going to keep this one for a saw log. I'm either going to buy a sawmill at some point. I've been trying to find somebody local with a portable mill. I used to have a guy, and he has since retired and doesn't do it any longer. But yeah, I think I don't know when it'll be, but sometime I'm gonna get a sawmill. I've been starting to save logs like this. But one of the things, every time I'm not cutting firewood, it never fails. There's several comments in each video how I should save that for lumber and don't cut it into firewood. Well, a while back I did a video, and it'd be a good one if you want to go back and watch. It was video number 100, and it was called "What is this tree worth?" or "Now we know what this tree's worth." And I actually did, like, I think 3 or 4 videos on a big oak tree. I cut it up, calculated exactly how much firewood I got out of it, how much we sell it for around here, how much, you know, if I would have saved everything and sawed it into lumber. But I think it was a pretty decent analysis, you know, for our area right here. All areas are different. But I forget what the total was, but I think it's kind of an eye-opener. You know, sure, I like to save good saw logs, but sometimes things aren't worth as much as what people say they're worth. For a good example, there's something I learned from my dad. He was an auctioneer, and what he always said is something is worth what somebody will pay for it. And that's why I always like the auction business, because at that time and at that place, that is what that piece of furniture was worth. It reminds me of a story when we were getting ready to buy that property down there at the brick house and all that land with it. Before we bought it, I had a builder friend of mine, does remodeling, and he came out just kind of looking the house over with me, giving me some ideas and things. And one of his helpers was there with him, you know. And there's this big hickory tree in the front yard down there off to the side of the brick house. Really nice tree. Hickory, might have went up 15, 20 feet before the first limb. And this kid, he's like, "That's a $5,000 tree right there." I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, that's worth $5,000. I guarantee it, he says. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what, you really think it's worth $5 grand? He said, absolutely. I said, well, I'll sell it to you for $1,000 right now. He's like, well, what do you mean? I go, you said it's worth $5,000. I'm gonna give you that tree for $1,000. You can make $4 grand on it. And he's like, well, I'd have to get it out of here and cut it down. I said, I'll cut it down for you and load it up for you. And he's like, I'd have to haul it. So the point of that is, there's a lot of people out there, you know, they might have found a nice veneer log somewhere at some point and knows what somebody paid for it, and they think all logs are worth the same amount, and they're just not. And it all depends what you need. If you need lumber, you know, sure, you might want to take some lower grade logs and saw them up for siding on a building or something like that. But if you get a good, you know, a real good market for firewood, maybe you want to cut more firewood. It's totally up to you, totally up to the area that you're in, because it's all different no matter where you go. But that's, like I said, that's the one thing that always stuck with me. Something is worth what somebody will pay for it, not what someone says it's worth. That's why I've never been a big fan of appraisals and things for real estate and things like that. I mean, you get a general idea, you know what I mean? But really, at the end of the day, it comes down to what somebody will pay for something determines what it's worth. So anyway, I'm going to whack up a little bit of firewood here, and then I have to head to the house here shortly because I got to go to a birthday party this evening. That thing just keeps cutting faster and faster. I just checked our Facebook page, Outdoors with the Morgans. You need to go there and look at some of these pictures people are submitting for Woodstack 2018. There's 4 categories, so scroll through the posts, find each category, go through all the pictures, and click like on the ones that you find pretty impressive. Seems the last day or so, some really nice pictures. Some people were holding out, but some pretty impressive work. So go check that out on our Facebook page. Well, I'm going to cut a little more firewood, and then I got to get back to the house, get cleaned up, go to a birthday party where I'm actually doing a fireworks show this evening for a friend. And but remember, in my opinion, things are worth what somebody will pay for them, not what someone says it's worth. But anyway, like I always say, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, click subscribe, share them with your friends. Thanks.